You've seen it. High on the ledge above the main entrance of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Millions of pilgrims walk past it every single year, their eyes drawn to the grand wooden doors and the ancient stone carvings, completely missing the quiet anomaly resting just above their heads. Most people who do happen to glance upward assume it's simply there for daily repairs. They think that someone, perhaps a careless worker or a busy monk, simply forgot it there yesterday, or perhaps last week, before rushing off to attend to other sacred duties. But this is Jerusalem, a city where nothing is as simple as it seems, and where every single object carries the weight of centuries. Look closer at that wood. Look at the deep, unrelenting grime, the heavily cracked surface, the weathered rungs that have baked in the scorching Middle Eastern sun for generation after generation. That simple, unremarkable wooden stepladder has not been moved a single inch. It has been sitting on this exact precarious stone ledge since at least the year 1757, weathering storms, wars, and the endless march of time. So, the ultimate question remains, who left it there in the first place? And what vital task did they never manage to finish? Down below on the plaza, the world keeps moving at a relentless pace. Empires rise to magnificent heights and fall into absolute ruin. International borders are constantly redrawn by the victors, and countless generations of devout believers come and go, washing over the stone courtyard like an endless tide. But the ladder remains perfectly, stubbornly untouched. What happens if someone finally dares to step up and take it down? The answer might just start a holy war of unprecedented proportions. What makes a simple, rotting stepladder so incredibly dangerous? It sits quietly on the second-floor ledge, doing absolutely nothing. Why there, of all places? Who decided this specific spot must be frozen in time forever, acting as an eternal monument to human stubbornness? The answer lies buried deep in ancient decrees and royal firmans. Decrees written in intricate Arabic script by powerful Ottoman sultans, binding the fiercely divided factions of the church to a strict, unyielding law that governs their every waking move. 6 distinct, fiercely protective Christian groups claim absolute ownership over every single stone, every dark chapel, and every golden altar inside this sprawling ancient complex. The Greek Orthodox, the Roman Catholics, the Armenian Apostolics, the Copts, the Syriacs, and the Ethiopians. Yet surprisingly, in a place where people fight over mere inches of floor space, none of them can exclusively claim the ladder. It belongs entirely to the terrifyingly fragile balance between them. Is it a silent guardian of the faith, or is it a dark, enduring curse placed upon the holy site? Why must it stay exactly where it is, defying all logic and reason? The first universally accepted, reliable evidence of its existence comes from a detailed engraving dated exactly to the year 1757. Since that specific year, the ladder has been permanently locked in place, as immovable as the ancient bedrock of Jerusalem itself. Could moving a few pieces of decaying, rotting wood really spark an international crisis and draw the attention of world leaders? In the incredibly tense, hypersensitive atmosphere of Jerusalem, the answer is a terrifying, resounding yes. Why is it there in the first place? The most common, historically accepted theory is as incredibly mundane as it is utterly tragic. In the 18th century, the Ottoman authorities completely controlled the Holy Land with an iron fist. They imposed heavy, financially crippling taxes on the various Christian clergy for simply entering and exiting the main doors of their own sacred church. The Armenian monks who occupied the second-floor quarters of the church found themselves completely trapped by this extortionate financial burden. Unable to afford the exorbitant daily gate tax demanded by the guards, they ingeniously used this exact, humble wooden ladder to climb out onto the ledge. From there, they could safely reach their terrace and access fresh air and warm sunlight without ever passing the greedy Ottoman guards waiting below. It wasn't just about getting a breath of fresh air in a cramped monastery. It was a vital, absolute tool of daily survival. By utilizing the ledge and the ladder, the desperate monks could lower small woven baskets on long ropes to receive essential food, water, and vital supplies from sympathetic locals in the outside world. It was a clever, necessary way to completely bypass the overwhelming greed of an expanding empire. A simple, short ladder meant the absolute difference between slow starvation and continued survival for the isolated brothers. But then, the relentless march of time was suddenly stopped. When the ruling Ottoman Sultan issued the famous overarching Status Quo Decree, he effectively froze the entire church in time, creating a permanent museum of religious tension. He declared with absolute royal authority that every single object, every single room, and every specific rite of worship should remain exactly as it was at that very specific moment in history. The ladder, by pure historical accident, happened to be out on the ledge that exact day. And so, by the absolute unbreakable letter of the law, it must remain there forever. This isn't just a quirky, amusing historical fact or a funny story meant to entertain passing tourists. People have actually fought, bled, and been severely injured over the incredibly rigid, uncompromising rules that keep this ladder firmly in place. The underlying tension inside the massive church is always hovering right at the boiling point, ready to explode at the slightest provocation. In 1902, a seemingly innocent monk moved a small wooden bench just a few inches out of his strictly designated area, leading to a massive, violent brawl that sent dozens of screaming priests to the local hospital. Decades later, in 2002, a Coptic monk simply moved his chair out of the blazing sun and into the cool shade of an Ethiopian-controlled area. The resulting vicious fight involved heavy iron bars, flying stones, and brutal beatings, leaving 11 monks severely injured and requiring immediate medical evacuation. This is the harsh, unforgiving reality of life inside the Holy Sepulchre. The immovable ladder is not just wood, it is a profound physical warning. It represents a rigid, paralyzing system where the deep-seated fear of catastrophic change is far greater than the natural human desire for progress and harmony. The devoted monks who live within these ancient, incense-filled walls are the faithful guardians of a profound divine mystery, but they are also the tragic prisoners of a deeply flawed human law. There have been a few incredibly rare and very bold attempts to finally move it. In 1997, a mischievous, misguided tourist, thinking he was doing everyone a massive favor and solving a centuries-old problem, actually climbed out onto the ledge and pulled the ladder behind a heavy door to hide it. Absolute panic immediately ensued among the clergy. The ladder was eventually recovered and quietly returned weeks later, now secured tightly behind a heavy iron grate to permanently prevent any further help from well-meaning outsiders. Years later, in 2009, it was moved very briefly by hired workers during a highly coordinated, incredibly rare renovation project, only to be placed back in its exact original spot with absolute millimeter precision the moment the work was done. The ladder has truly become the ultimate globally recognized symbol of the ecumenical stalemate. Pope Paul VI was so moved by the absurdity of the situation that he even issued a formal decree in 1964, definitively stating that the ladder should absolutely not be moved until the divided Catholic and Orthodox churches were fully and completely unified. In other words, the ladder will move only when the world achieves a perfect, lasting religious peace that it has never actually known. Look at that old decaying wood one last time. It has silently witnessed brutal global wars, devastating plagues, and the bloody rise and fall of massive empires. Yet it stubbornly refuses to rot away completely. It stands defiantly against the relentless passage of time, a monument to human stubbornness. Until that completely impossible day of absolute utopian unity finally arrives, it remains permanently trapped between heaven and earth, a silent wooden ghost permanently resting on a cold stone ledge under the vast Jerusalem stars, a daily visible reminder of our deep-seated human stubbornness, suspended high up in the crisp night air. As the bustling city finally sleeps, the quiet ladder keeps its eternal silent watch over the completely empty courtyard. It sits there, doing absolutely nothing, yet mocking our collective inability to simply sit down and talk to one another. The immovable ladder of Jerusalem, a profound mystery not of divine faith, but of deeply flawed human nature.